and welcome to another Coffee Koze catch up. I hope you guys are highly caffeinated, wide awake, about to have a really good day. Today we're going to be talking about faith. It's going to be my faith in particular. I'm just going to share with you where I stand on the whole concept and my history with faith, all of that good stuff. This is actually a question that I feel like I get a lot. Ever since I've been sharing a little bit more of my spirituality online and sharing more so getting into all the things that I've really gone into in the last 2 or 3 years, like yoga and meditation and the books I've been reading about mindfulness and just talking about little snippets where I've thrown in my talks about God or whatever. And one question I often get is what I actually believe in. What is my religion? What is my faith? And today I figured in a short condensed version, I would explain to you exactly what my faith is. I tend to believe in everything in the sense that I can see little bits of truth in almost every religion. When I think about the fact that I was raised Catholic, I was raised Christian, I went to Catholic schools, I had to wear a uniform in high school, the kilt and the button-up shirt, and we all had to wear the same thing, and we all had to do mass all the time. I actually sang in choir. And it's not something I talk about because I wouldn't necessarily, now that I'm old enough to make my own decisions, obviously that was a decision made by my parents and I'm not mad about it, it doesn't faze me in any way, but as I grew older, I didn't feel like I fully resonated with it. And I hope that, by the way, that this quick disclaimer doesn't offend anybody. I'm only speaking from my own personal opinion, and I am so open to all types of faiths, religions, and belief systems. So I mean it by no harm. This is just how I basically feel about faith and religion. And so I think that faith and religion can translate to everybody a little differently, in that it's all kind of still saying the same thing. Now, most of you, if you do have any kind of background in religion, know of the golden rule. That is the biggest thing I would say I believe in. And the golden rule is this: do unto others as you would have be done to you. And so that is the big thing that I think that most religions kind of surround. And Catholicism, or the way that I at least grew up in it, was centered around that, but there was a lot of other things that came with it that I didn't necessarily resonate so much with. So after high school and getting older, no longer going to mass anymore, I started to really question, okay, but what is my faith? So if I don't really resonate or identify with being Catholic, what do I identify with? And this was a big question that I feel like I went through in my late teens and earlier 20s. And I remember just being okay, well, I know where I stand with the whole God thing. Sometimes I call it God, sometimes I call it the universe, sometimes I call it energy, but what actually is it to me? And what do I believe in and what do I have faith in? So skip forward. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen, I did a video once explaining all of the meanings behind my tattoos, but I actually have a tattoo on my arm that says faith. And it's one of those, this tattoo has one of the deeper meanings to me out of all my tattoos. I mean, all my tattoos actually have pretty deep meanings, but this one in particular, I got at one of the lower points of my life. And I say that in the sense that I had completely lost my faith. I felt like I just didn't really know exactly what I was here for and why I wanted to be here, because I couldn't really find that reason. I kept on waking up and just feeling really dull and lifeless and hopeless. This was in a very, very deep, kind of depressive state in my life. And I remember just being what is going, I couldn't tie myself to anything. And this went on for an extended period of time. And I remember I was looking out of the window in one of my bedrooms and I was just feeling completely lifeless. And it wasn't it was a lifeless in the sense that I was sad, or a lifeless in the sense that I was just kind of bored. It was literally I just didn't feel anything, and I didn't really care to feel anything. And I guess you might say it was an other voice, or maybe it was my higher self. I've done a lot of meditation now, and so I like to believe that there is a sense of wisdom within all of us, and I call that my higher self, but I really just think it's kind of our intuition or a deeper intelligence that we will never fully be able to understand. But whatever that is, it came up in me and it was okay, well, if you don't care, then what are you gonna do about it? It was you have 2 options here, but this is no longer an option. And I knew that this also was no longer an option. It wasn't gonna be an option for me. So I had to choose to have faith in something, because the only other option was that there was nothing to have faith in. And then what's the point of life at that? That was a big pivotal point for my life, because if I hadn't gotten to that low of a state, I don't think I would have actually forced myself to choose what I had faith in. And it was hard because at that point, I remember thinking like, okay, I know some people turn towards God. I know some people turn towards like Jesus. I know some people turn towards the Buddha, and people choose to turn to what they need to. And for me, none of that really felt 100% right. So instead, I decided to kind of pick and choose from everything what it was all trying to say. And I unknowingly did this at the time, but I chose to have faith in something bigger than me. That's all I had to go off of, and that's all I went with. So I got my faith tattoo as a reminder that there will be a day that I'm getting married and I'll look at that tattoo and be like, that's what I had faith in. And there will be a day that I hold my first kid and look at that tattoo and be like, that's what I had faith in. And there has been days since I've gotten this tattoo that I've looked at it and thought, this is the day that I had faith in. This day wouldn't have happened if I had chosen the other option. And because I chose this and I had faith that there were going to be better days to come, that there was something bigger than me, that had better plans than me, then I wouldn't have made it here. And that is kind of what started my faithful journey. So skip forward now, where is my faith today? I feel like I've really come to know more of myself, and that's the only way I can say I truly feel like I've learned more about my own faith. I wouldn't say all faith, but at least my own personal faith. And I think that that's kind of the case for most people, that if you're out there and you're kind of questioning what you have faith in, to go inward, because the more you connect with yourself, the more you're able to see where you stand with what's being presented to you. So now that it's been a few years since I've gotten this tattoo and I've really started to explore like what does resonate with me, what speaks true to me, or what translates to me. And I like to use the word translate because I think that it can become miscommunicated when we talk about things like faith or religion, or even things like veganism, or whatever belief system we choose to go by. I think a lot of people will get offended because we think that just because someone's saying that that's what works for them, that that has to be what works for everybody, and that's just not the case. Like, some people like tarot cards, some people don't. Some people like yoga, some people like hockey, but it's whatever is almost like a sacred thing to you. And to me, in growing in meditation and yoga, that was how I started to feel more sacred. That's how I started to feel connected to that bigger thing that I knew was there, but I wasn't really sure how to communicate with it. And so through doing things like meditation and through working through yoga and thus doing those things and then working through my own like deeply rooted emotions and deeply rooted like problems or undigested emotions or things that I kind of went through that I just never dealt with. And in doing that, I became aware of the fact of energy. And I guess when it boils down to it for me, my faith is just that. I believe in energy. I don't think energy can be created or destroyed. I think that we're all made of the same things that the universe is made of, the same thing that this earth is made of. And so I feel like I would be naive to believe that the way that we act doesn't change the energy of that around us, you know? So when you think of things like manifestation and when you think of things like positive thinking and being aware and being mindful, I believe in those things because I believe in what it does with that energy. And to another religion, some might call that God, or to another religion, I like there's so many different things that we all call it, but I think at the end of the day, love, energy, light, and interconnectedness is what I believe in. The fact that everything I think is connected, the fact that I believe or have faith in the ability to do well, and when you do well, you can make a ripple effect of goodness, not only in your life, but in the world. And I think that there is something that comes after this life. And I don't know what it is because I'm still learning about my faith every day and I'm still growing in it and remaining curious. Like, I stay open-minded, I try and stay curious about it, and all I know is that the little bit of subconscious that I have tapped into, the psyche that I have tapped into, and not only that, the fact that I have such vivid dreams and like little bits of like, I don't want to say psychic, guys, because I know that that is so like cringy, but there has been times where I'm like, holy crap, I'm psychic. That just happened. I felt that, but I think that that comes from the fact that there is something so much bigger than us and a reason why we're all here and living these lives that we will not be able to understand until after this life. And that is basically my faith and what I choose to believe in. So I hope that I translated that correctly. I feel like I kind of got all over the place a little tiny bit, but if you guys want a more in-depth video about this, just leave me a comment down below. I can maybe dive into this topic a lot more in a bigger video on my main channel. And leave a comment down below too, what is your faith? And I want to talk about this in an open and a respectful way. So just know that if anyone is in a completely different mindset and you don't believe in the same things, that's totally cool. I still want to hear what you believe in, and let's keep the comment section just really positive towards one another, because I feel like I said, this can be a touchy subject, and I just want you guys to feel open to say what you actually do believe in and not feel afraid. So leave a comment down below. Let's get a whole community chat going about it, and tell me what you believe in or what you have faith in. And aside from that, I'll talk to all of you guys tomorrow morning. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.